What's up, guys? Welcome to the Cyclone Fanatic post-game report on all the Cyclone Fanatic social media channels. As always, presented by our friends at Karl Chevrolet. If you're looking for a newer pre-owned vehicle, check out our friends at Karl Chevrolet in Stewart and Karl Chevrolet in Ankeny. Like I always have to do after these home games, I'm going to tell you guys that we have to wear the masks because we're still in the press box. So just don't even ask why we're wearing them. Obviously, we are wrapping up our coverage of Iowa State's 31-15 win over Texas Tech. Bringing in Rob Gray now. I mean, I think the best part about this game, Rob, is just that it was a boring one. It's one that the Cyclones, outside of the blocked kick there early in the game, it's one that the Cyclones pretty much controlled from beginning to end and dominated the line of scrimmage and everything like that. I think that it's one that most everybody has to be pretty happy about.
Absolutely, and on both sides of the ball, the defense came out and got a 3-and-out right away. The offense drove the ball, and then the special teams gaff, letting the blocked field goal. A bit of bad luck, the fact that it pops into a guy's arms and he can run it all the way back. Boom, you dominated the game and you're down 7-0. But came right back, scored, put up 31 unanswered before Texas Tech finally drove on them a bit in the fourth quarter. And Texas Tech did not convert 1 third down today. I don't know if I've ever seen that. And, so even though it's 31-15, Coach Campbell doesn't care what it says on the scoreboard. He knows what this team showed on the field. And I said it was utter domination the way they wore down. And unfortunately, that tough first loss to Louisiana, the Cyclones reversed that and utterly dominated a team, especially in Texas Tech, that has a really dangerous offense and made them look impotent.
Yeah, and I think that I would imagine that Matt Wells and his staff will maybe be kicking themselves a little bit this week for not playing Henry Colombi earlier in the game. I thought that he was a much more dynamic quarterback than Alan Bowman, but regardless, I mean, that Texas Tech offense wasn't able to do anything for most of the football game really until the very end when the game was already decided. But to hold a team that then averaging 5 yards per carry, a rushing attack that's as good as what Texas Tech has had in nearly half a decade, holding to 2.6 yards per carry and basically make them completely one-dimensional. I mean, Texas Tech just couldn't stay on the field, and that's how Iowa State ends up with 40 minutes of time of possession. I really don't know what there is to say about this game because it's just one of those teams was considerably better in nearly every facet of the football game, and it was Iowa State today.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely right. I mean, and it's impressive to say. I know you're writing a column about it, and we've seen it in flashes, that Iowa State doesn't get pushed around by anybody, but they really, as you said, imposed their will today. I mean, you saw just really some unique and at times brilliant play calling on offense where you're running those swing routes because Texas Tech was giving it to them. This was good, even, again, regardless of what the score says, there were 4 touchdowns better at least today. But this was a perfect example of Campbell's adage of taking what they give you on both sides of the ball. And as you said, Bowman, who's had some big games in the past, he didn't give him that element of running the football, which Columbia obviously showed. And again, it's also when they're down 31-7 as well. But I don't know. It's just, like you said, imposing their will and doing it in a complete manner. I mean, start to finish on all the categories that indicate toughness, precision, efficiency, attention to detail. That was a huge component of this one.
Need to take a quick pause here just a second to give a shout out to our friends at Authentic Brand. Authentic Brand is more than just your source for official Cyclone gear. With an amazing team of designers, Authentic Brand can custom manufacture polo shirts, jackets, caps, bags, and beyond for your team or small business. Check them out online at authentic-brand.com. Look authentic, feel authentic, be authentic. I think the other thing that was impressive was just the play of Iowa State's offensive line, especially when you consider the fact that Joey Ramos had to lead the game. I think after Iowa State's first possession, and then you bring in Jake Remsberger, redshirt freshman. You've already had to shuffle some guys around up there because, it sounds like Trevor Downing is going to be out for what Matt Campbell called a little while. I think you and I both expect it to be a pretty considerable amount of time there for Trevor to not be able to play for the Cyclones. Hopefully he'll be able to come back this season, but I think that's kind of up in the air. and for Jake Remsburg to come in and play as well as he did, that entire offensive line to play as well as they did. I mean, I think the growth up front right now is the biggest jump from last season to this season in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are plug and play a couple of times this season already with guys that were, Campbell's talked about how you need to build that quality depth, and that's the one position that takes the longest. And obviously, tight ends is one that took a little time too. And look where we are there. I mean, it's beyond encouraging to see again the guy who played on special teams last year. And Campbell noted, I mean, since he was a freshman, that's saying something that you want to throw an alignment out there like that. But they really opened up some huge holes. Brock Purdy was not sacked. He was running. I mean, it was frankly the best performance I've seen from the offensive line this season. And again, Tech's also not a great defense, obviously, but they've still got some pass rushers, and they mixed some things up and blitzed, and occasionally were able to diagnose the run, and they just out executed them and manhandled them. And to see that again from your fully along your two deep is extremely encouraging, because as Campbell said after the game, you're going to lose guys. I mean, God forbid Hasheem Young, gets the. I don't understand the targeting call, but I mean, if you're without him half Oklahoma State, okay, Arnold Azuna, you get to step up and do it. And the guys have been doing that this season, and obviously in Big 12 play. And to be 3-0 for the first time since 2002 is a testament to just how much depth and frankly cohesiveness they built in this team.
Absolutely. I mean, and then the same can be said about the wide receiver room, where now you're going to lose Tariq Milton for a little while. We don't know exactly what that injury is. He had his left arm in a sling pregame today, and Matt Campbell said he'll just be out for a little while. So even then, the ball today, I think it was 11, either 11 or 12. I can't remember for certain. But, a lot of different guys stepping up. Xavier Hutchinson becoming the guy that I think we all expected him to be, and it's a group that, early in the season, I think had not played up to what their expectations were. But I think you saw today that group is really making some strides forward. Hopefully that can continue, because we both how big of a football game they've got coming up after a bye week down in Stillwater.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think the way that you get involved. I think by the time Brock had completed 20 passes, he's competed with like 9 different guys. I mean, so he's really got a lot of ways to go with it, so they can really match scheme. And Brock looked as poised today as I've seen him all year too. He was really efficient in terms of production with the 21 yards per catch last week and the big win over Oklahoma. But today, the way that they used him in the run game too, I think was extremely important to get things going in that capacity. He looked like shades of 2018 Brock Purdy when he took the college football world by storm. And not that 2019 Brock Purdy was bad in the least, but we know he was banged up a bit and had to throw the ball probably more than they want to. If this is the Brock Purdy we see the rest of the year, we have a sense this could be a special season. I think that adds a layer to that.
Absolutely. All right, I'll address one question that we did get during the stream. It was about a tweet that I had where I said that one of the best developments of 2020 is Iowa State's PA announcer talking smack to the other team. The one that prompted that was on the kickoff when they ended up reviewing Eric Horn for targeting. I think the announcer said whoever it was that was carrying the ball got campanealed by Eric Horn. And there was a couple other times where he said things like that. He said some stuff like that last week. So it was just something kind of goofy, and it was something I laughed at it when he said that he campanealed him. I don't know what that means, but whatever. All right, thanks, Rob. Let's go get your coverage done. I'll get my stuff done, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks again to Karl Chevrolet for being our presenting sponsor. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again on Monday.